going to record anymore, but I just got to say some things here. First and foremost, do I think people cheat in this game? Yes, I do. Do I have my suspicions about the present lobby? Yes, I do. Do I have my suspicions about every lobby? Yes, I do, because there's a high instance of cheating in this game. People just don't want to admit it. Bungie wants to hide the numbers behind things like network connection problems and blaming you for having a bad internet and all that other shit. But it really comes down to is that there are people in this game who don't have the time to play as much as I do or anybody else, who don't have the skills to play as good. Like I don't have the skills. There's people out there. I mean, fuck, dude. If I can do it, anybody can. That's the kind of level of skill I have. And it's like you don't need to be, yeah. And there's people who are doing it because they're making a living off of it. They're boosting accounts and flipping them. Now Bungie's been really adamant and really strict about account carries and coveries, as they're calling them. But let's be honest. I mean, it's not going to. I mean, is it really going to stop anything? It doesn't really stop anything. Slow Turtle. Let's take a look and see how you were able to survive that. You should not have survived that. You should not have survived that. Recovery, okay, but no, you don't recover that fast. I played with a 100 recovery, and it's at least a good 2-3 seconds before you start generating health again. Recovery is not meant for PvP. Recovery is meant for things like doing raids and nightfalls and stuff like that, where you want to make sure you have more uptime and you're taking only limited amounts of damage, not like, combined fire like you are here with the PvP thing. You want either resilience or you just don't want to be there when they're shooting. And there's only two ways to do that in this game. Anticipate your opponents more accurately, and then, of course, cheat. And I think a lot of people really do just cheat. I think it's just natural. Either than that, or Bungie needs to accept that they need to start doing geofiltering, because if you're trying to cross-continental a connection, you're not going to have a balanced fight. And they're all about, we want to make sure everything is balanced, everybody has an equal chance to do everything. No, it's not going to happen, because people are not going to be able to fucking get their upload speeds that fast to go to fucking orbit. Come on, people. It don't work that way. And literally, that's what we got to do. You got to fucking have an upload speed that's fast enough to reach fucking satellite orbit, and it's not going to happen. You're going to end up losing out. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why, what people think is cheating is really just a really shit-tastic upload speed. But then again, cheaters know this, and so they can hide it behind it. Just like people can hide cheats behind certain abilities and weapon effects. Like when I was playing in a match in the last game, Pepe, he had a 111 mobility. Excuse me. You don't get any extra. You don't go any faster over 100. I tested it. I played with a 100 mobility, and I played with unless you're playing with the Mida multi-tool. For some reason, lightweight frames do give you a little extra buff. Now, I am going to have to go back through the video and take a look and see what kind of weapons he had, because if he had extra buffs on his weapons, that gave him extra little bit of mobility, then yeah, juking back and forth across the room about as big as where I just died is a possibility, but not a likelihood. Okay? Realistically speaking, people like to go ahead and lie to themselves that, I got 111 agility, even though I have accelerator hardware on my controller that makes me go 3 times faster than the other Guardian. He wasn't even wearing Stompies, I don't think. But yeah, I don't even think I saw Stompies. I don't know. Either that, or it's just like the one conspiracy theory, my little spin foil theory that I had from way back, or in the earlier days of Destiny, that I believe that the game picks which side is going to win, no matter how poorly or well either side plays. That side's going to win, regardless. And I think they do it, especially with lobbies that are static. In other words, you're not switching out the lobbies between games like I do. And it's like it's really because I think what we're trying to do is they're trying to build some kind of narrative drama into the game. They're trying to put in some kind of like, oh, you're my rival, because that's just so weeb. It's just so anime, and that's what Destiny pushes towards these days, is that mobile app anime game feel. And I don't know. Yeah, it's hard for me to give the fucks that most people would want me to give for PvP. And why am I here? I'm pushing bounties for Bright Dust, babes. That's what I'm doing. Um, and I'm checking things out. I'm seeing if my expectations are being met by a certain number of events. Titan Slayer is done again. People keep playing those Titans. I think I already got my Bright Dust bounties done, so this will probably be the last match I play. Yeah, I've stopped pursuing Iron Banner. I would love to get the Iron Banner bounties done. I just wish they would be like the Trials of Osiris bounties, where it's like, as a fire team, do this. Even if the rewards were just a little bit less, I wouldn't have a problem with lower scaled rewards because you did it as a fire team, because we're supposed to be a team. I think that's the real thing that salts me the most in this game, is no one's playing as a team member. I mean, I play Conan Exiles, and there's no matchmaking. It's not a battle royale. It is a sandbox survival combat game, and you don't have to PvP directly. You could just attack each other's bases with bombs and trebuchets and gods. But if you want to PvP, you can PvP, and God, Prom better believe that you are going to go in with a fucking team, and you're going to be working as a team. And there's no trophies or anything like that. I don't think there's no trophies associated with the whole experience. But there are rewards, and that is, of course, looting your dead opponents' bodies, and just stealing their stuff, um, taking their shit. So I don't know. I mean, how much more caustic would Destiny be if you could actually win your opponent's loot? Could you imagine that? Fuck, man, that would be, yeah. You'd see some hardcore cheaters, and I don't know. It's people are going to cheat. That's just the way it is. It's human nature. I think people want to have an advantage, and they believe they deserve to have that advantage, and they're going to rationalize their choices. And I just think that's terrible, because as a guardian, role playing this character, in the game, I don't think that that's a good way to do it. It's kind of like saying that I want to be a paladin. I am a lawful good paladin, or if you're old school, I'm lawful paladin. And then, but you're like burning down villages that are neutral. You're burning down villages that have absolutely nothing to do with your campaign or your crusade or anything else, and you're stealing things from people, and you're just being an asshole and knifing people in the back and stuff, and undercutting your teammates. And then you say, well, they're neutrals, or they're chaotics. That's not how paladins work. That's not the ideal behind the paladin, but that's what people are going to rationalize with. And I think that whole operating by exclusion rather than inclusion is just, I don't know. It's just not my fiber. I try to be the exception and allow myself to go ahead and do nasty things to people in the game, like playing cheesy shit and all that stuff. But then I get like, then it's like, it's like every mentor, every sensei, every coach, every counselor, every teacher, every family member who's ever taught me anything is just looking at me. I can feel their eyeballs on the back of my neck, shaking their heads and shame, shame, ringing the bells and all that stuff. Um, I just can't play like that, and I know. I mean, I can understand why a person would how I understand how a person could justify cheating, but I myself can't find any rationale behind it. There's no point to it. I mean, if you're playing a single player offline game and the developer has put in, cheat codes that unlock, infinite ammo, or, um, ooh, that actually is pretty good. Um, Infinite ammo, or, they've unlocked things like, I don't know, are you better than this? Tap the trigger. Let's find out. And stuff like that. Then it's like, yeah, well, because that's the developer put that in there. So, if the devs have put it in, the designer put it in, then it's there for a reason. But if you're like applying like Game Shark codes back in the old days of Game Boy, if you're playing Game Shark codes and stuff, I had a person offer to put some Pokemon on my Poke game on my Game Boy game using his Game Shark, and I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, no charge, dude. I just want to, I think you would be having you would have you're so close to finishing your Pokedex, and these are really hard to Pokemon to find. And it wasn't the Mew, by the way, or anything like that. It was like I think it was like a not a Snorlax. I can't remember what it was because it's been so long. Um, I think it was a Snorlax or something like that. Whew. Or maybe it was a no, it wasn't a shiny. Um, but I was like, no, I just don't. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that because that's not. I would always know that I cheated, Whereas again, like a game like Wrath of Heaven that actually had, you could unlock cheat codes like extra shurikens or constant invisibility or things like that. It was included in the game as rewards for your playthrough, and and I would mess around with them and have fun playing with them, and I never felt bad about using them because they weren't helping me complete the game. Same goes for Conan Exiles. In Conan Exiles, you play the offline game. You can go into administrator mode. You can spawn whatever the fuck you want, do whatever the fuck you want. There's only one trophy that you can't actually do on your own. That you must have another player with you to do that, and that's Tower of the Elephant. And otherwise, all the other trophies, you can basically god mode your way through it. And I'm like, but that's trophy. At that time, trophies weren't meaning anything to me. But if you go and look at my Conan profile, yeah, with the exception of probably 30 or 40% of the trophies that I have there. The really, really difficult ones, the ones that, I would have to get a team member to get together to play through to actually get it done. Those are the ones that I did go ahead and use administrator mode on. Except for Tower of the Elephant. Tower of the Elephant, you have to have another player in your game in order to do this. Which was fine. I mean, my son and I played Conan, offline with co-op modes, and so we did it during a co-op game. It was totally okay. It was a lot of fun. But like I said, I mean, there's so much more to do in Conan, and so much that can't be done by actual exploit. I mean, Funcom's done a great job of tracking down the exploits and making sure they get pulled out of the game as fast as possible. Yeah, see, I need that handling. Even though feeding Frenzy and Thresh is really nice, I have tapped the trigger and Frenzy on this one, so this guy's just kind of not. People have been pretty good. Stars and Shadows, Quick Draw, and Dragonfly, that's kind of cute. I don't think I want that. I think what I really want is my Tiku's Definition, because I don't think I have that anymore. For some reason, I got rid of that. I don't know why. Where is Tiku? That's Trinity Ghoul. There she is. Bonk. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to get any of these things. I know how to get that. That's a raid weapon. That's a raid weapon. I think the relic, raid. Um, yeah, I don't know how to get those. That's how little fucks I've been giving for this whole process. I mean, glaives are fine. I like the Enigma that I have. It's okay. I got the Colony, and then I got Red Allegiant. Do you think you're big time on the Xenophage? I didn't know I had this. That's cool. In any case, yeah, I guess that's about really all I've got to say now. I just wanted to bring that point back up. Um, it'd be fun to see Destiny cycle back towards, team-based games. If the bounties, I don't think, I don't know, would cheating, would making bounties team-based, like as a fire team, like I said with Trials, they do it. Would it actually make a difference? Would it actually improve the situation? Um, I don't know. I don't really think so. You know what? I was excited about this, but honestly, yeah, 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 yeah. We're just gonna put it on my machine gun. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.